Monster Hunter in 3D. Now that sticker on the case is the only place anywhere on this package that indicates that this is a 3D Blu-ray. Now this is an unusual 3D movie. It did not play in 3D in theaters. The only way to see this version is on this Blu-ray. And the only country selling this is in Germany. And that is why I was reluctant to get this one. I've been burned many times by an awful German-only 3D release. But curiosity got to me, and yeah, some people liked it. The Bunker, check out his review of it. But I wasn't expecting much. But how wrong my instincts were. This is actually an outstanding 3D conversion. So outstanding, I wonder why it got buried. Conversions cost like, what, $100,000 a minute? So no one's going to pay that for a low-key Blu-ray release. I'm guessing they had ambitious plans that fell through, so they just had to let go of it and move on. Even without the 3D, this would still be a fun movie. It's a little like the premise of Army of Darkness, although this is played for suspense rather than humor. Although a one-handed chainsaw boom stickman would not be out of place, this is, after all, a movie where boats sail on sand, and good-looking tackle on those boats as well. The boats here look better than in many sailing 3D movies I've seen. But it is a perfect movie for 3D. A good portion of it takes place out in the sun. Yes, we see you two, where the hard light makes the stereo very easy to perceive, and the stark landscape makes for a nice canvas for rocks and monsters to stand out in. And it really helps just pull those images right to you. But what I found really striking was not so much the big stuff, but the stereo complexities of the close-ups. They treat hands and faces with great respect here. You can really feel the shape of the hands, relationships between the eyes, nose, and jaws, and the details in the close-ups really pull you in. In other movies where they treat the head as a solitary object, which, with maybe a bit of warping to mimic a different viewpoint, you tend to be interested in what's around the character, where they are, because that's what the stereo is telling you about, where they are in relationship to the area. But when you have the triangle of the chin to the two eyes highly defined, then it yells, "Look at me, look at my expression, see how I feel. I'm scared. I'm in this room, but the real enemy, the fear, is lurking behind these eyes." And now compare this to, say, the Predator conversion, which I did enjoy, and perhaps I was the only one, but it would have been a much more powerful experience if it had the facial definition of this movie. Horror isn't conveyed in monsters, but in reactions. And reactions are the essence of this movie. I don't think there's a line of dialogue that adds anything to the narrative. You could watch this in any language and have just as good of a time. And I'm not being facetious either. This is kind of like A Quiet Place, where the monsters are attracted to sound. On top of that, a huge part of this movie involves two people who speak two different languages, so they have to communicate by action and tone of voice. Even when a crew shows up, led by Ron Perlman, who's not afraid to get his hands dirty, I couldn't tell you what they talked about. It was like, monsters, bad, let's kill. Monsters, big, mighty, Donnie, monsters. But it kind of works. I think this would have been spoiled if they tried to explain themselves. It's all sewn together in various shades of agony. I feel like roaring. Arr.